For over 70 years, the Savoy Hotel has been considered the place to come for a classic cocktail. And we're here to meet historian Gerard Brown to discover more about the rich and often surprising history of this transatlantic tipple.
It's a tough job, you know, but somebody's got to do it, haven't they?
Yeah!
No.
Former bartender Jared has written many books about making the perfect alcoholic concoction, and there isn't anything he doesn't know about this mixed marvel.
He's even co-founder of the Museum of the American Cocktail.
Jared, what is it about the cocktail that lights your candle? Why are you so passionate about it?
The alchemy of a cocktail happens here now in front of us.
Yes.
The alchemy of a good wine happened 10 years ago in France.
Yes, quite.
And all you can do is pull the cork and pour it. This is magic that you experience and enjoy.
This taller version of Tom Cruise is world champion cocktail maker Eric Lawrence, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of how to get you tipsy with all manner of options.
An American writer in the 1930s, H.L. Mencken, brought a mathematician into a bar and had him calculate the number of possible combinations. And he came up with a figure of about 17 million something. And so it's up to people like Eric to ferret out which of those are good.
Well, Eric, in essence, you're a liquid chef, aren't you?
Pretty much. I'm always saying that chefs combining their flavors with the flame. We combining the flavors with the ice.
The Savoy became a haven for American bartenders jumping the pond in search of work after the introduction of Prohibition.
Soon the flamboyance of cocktails, blended with its prestigious clientele, lifted the image of alcohol and the bartenders who served it into a new level.
London had become one of the forerunners of the Roaring Twenties, where having a tipple or two was legal, giving free rein for creative bartenders to concoct an array of mixed drinks.
But where did the cocktail actually come from?
Up until recently, the world thought the beginning was 1806 in the United States, where the definition of cocktail was first printed, and they said it was a mixture of spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters. Then my wife and I found it used in a British newspaper in 1798. The truth was, a lot of the drinks that became American drinks were born in Europe, from European bartenders, and American tourists sitting in a bar would jot down the great drink the bartender made, go back home, teach that to his local bartender. A few years later, hit the newspapers, and come back over here as a great American drink.
The first British cocktail book was published in 1869. William Terrington's Cooling Cups and Dainty Drinks, and it gathered together many recipes with a European flavour.
First drink in it was a gin or brandy cocktail.
Right.
And
shall we make it today?
We should definitely make it today.
Ready for that?
Yeah, that would be fantastic, Eric.
So I'm starting off with a few drops of aromatic bitters.
Yes.
Followed by orange liquor. A little bit of ginger syrup. Good brandy.
This technique that Eric's going to use is how virtually all drinks were mixed from the 1790s into the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm. He makes it look so effortless, but it's really difficult to do, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You end up with a wet floor when you're starting out learning this technique.
The one secret is a white jacket. Once you have a white jacket, you don't want to mess it up.
And this is the brandy version of the first cocktail that was ever in print in England, 1869.
So this is, well, just about to taste a little bit of history here.
Yeah. You are, and this refers back to the drink from 1798.
Right. Oh,
how's that?
Oh, Eric, it's fantastic.
What I don't understand is that if we were so instrumental in the creation of the world of the cocktail, how come America's got all the credit?
America's always done a great job of promoting and marketing America. There's no question, but if you read the papers from the Times, the Americans shouted every creation from the mountaintops. But over here, by 1905, the whole concept of the American bar had sort of fallen out of fashion. And a lot of places weren't really making a go of it and dropped the whole American bar, but the Savoy was one spot where they were not going to let go of a great tradition. And so they hired in an American bartender, a young man named Harry Craddock.
Harry left the US in 1920 and went on to become one of the most famous bartenders in the world. He popularised the dry martini and invented a number of classic cocktails which take pride of place in his Savoy cocktail book of 1930.
My goodness.
Look at the style though.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
And Eric is going to let us try Harry's famous Corpse Reviver #2.
Orange liqueur, a dash of absinthe, lemon juice, aperitif wine and a slug of gin.
And this is a Corpse Reviver #2.
Oh man, that smells like it would wake the dead.
Welcome back to the 1920s.
Oh,
That's fabulous.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, you've made Harry Craddock proud. It's funny, everyone thinks Harry Craddock was an American. And certainly he was touted in the press as an American, and he never came out and said anything different about that. So Harry Craddock was originally from Stroud, Gloucestershire.
Really?
So it's fair to say that Harry Craddock was in fact best in British.
He was.
Well, there's a turn up for the books. You know what, Kingy? I think we should show these guys how we do it.
I'm leaving the bar.
Oh, cruel right.
Oh, no pressure then. We've only got a world champion bartender and the mastermind of the cocktail world to impress.
Gentlemen, I thought for your delectation I'd go very traditional and do a dry martini.
That's my favourite.
Oh, good.
What about you?
Oh, I love the martini.
Here we are.
Lucky all you.
You can't beat a classic. Dave, however, has gone a bit more freestyle.
What's this called?
It's called a brain scrambler. I'm confident that Jared and Eric will know class when he tastes it, unlike me Geordie chum.
Definitely more than the sum of its ingredients.
Flavours just like coming one by one.
That's nice. It tastes like one of those melted down rainbow lollies with gin.
Dave's drink was great. It was wonderful. It's an amazing drink,
Nice and balanced,
but
yep, but
it's hard to impeach the classic.
dry martini.
There's no denying it. The traditional martini is an absolute winner.
Love it. Love it.
And I can sense we're going to have a couple.
Yes.
So that's the bikes out the window.
Yes.
Should we get a room?
Oh, I haven't brought my wallet.
Oh, quelle surprise.
Ah, so the great American cocktail is actually British. Well, what else have those pesky kids laid claim to then?
The farmer's market.